So it's been kind of a hot minute since I've done one of those videos where I find an old camera that's filming it and develop what's in it and see what kind of wacky, non-pornographic pictures we find in it. But you know what? They're hard to find these days. Like, one of my shops that I go to that provided a few for the videos shut down like a year or two ago. One of the other places I go to, closing down next month. The other spots that I go to regularly, like, it used to be anytime I'd go, there'd be like 5 cameras, new cameras every single time. And now it's like I don't even see any cameras there for like months on end. So it's getting kind of hard to find these in my neck of the woods. But last summer while I was driving through Wisconsin, I stopped at a thrift store in Wausau, Wisconsin. And what did I find but a whole rainbow of these little plastic point and shoot cameras for $1 a piece. And it might have even been half off sale, so I might have only paid 50 cents. I don't even remember. It was cheap regardless. So these cameras are the Studio 35, a very prestigious plastic point and shoot camera that I'm sure all of our grandparents used to use and would hand down to our children. Just kidding. My first thought about these when I saw it was, oh, this looks like someone made a disposable camera, put it in a nicer shell instead of a paper body, and then we'll probably reuse it as you take it into developed film. And when I looked it up, that's exactly what it is. Walgreens used to issue these, and then well, it even says right on the back here. Can you read that? Return camera to Walgreens for 1 hour processing. We'll reload it with a fresh roll of Studio 35 film, 400 speed, 24 exposure. Yeah. So it's just basically a glorified point and shoot disposable camera. So if we're to trust the back of this that says there's a 25 roll exposure in here, then what we're looking at according to the film counters is Blue Boy here is still sitting at 24. See, the counter counts down, so the staff at Walgreens will load the film and then unload all the film on one side so that when the person takes the picture and advances it, it rolls it into the canister, so if they drop it and it pops open, they don't lose the photos they had taken. So we got a nice countdown so we know exactly how many pictures have been taken. Blue one is still sitting at 24, so I don't have much hope for anything cool on this one. The yellow, green, and gold one here, the Green Bay Packer edition, the counter on this one is sitting at 12, so I'm guessing there are 12 photos on here, you know? Basic math, 24 minus 12 equals 12. Learned that in grade school. Did you? And finally, the silver, classic retro silver camera, the film counter is at 2. So here we go. Between these two particular cameras, we're possibly looking at about 36-ish potential photos. So I am just gonna cut to the chase and develop all 3 of these and see what we have, because potentially a lot of pictures to look at, and I don't need this to be a super long video, so hang on. And if we've gotten this far and you're seeing this video, that means there are results. I'm not gonna pull that bait and switch on you anymore. All right, I'll see you in a bit. You can go away. Go. Get out of here. Why aren't you leaving? All right, quick check-in while the film is processing. So Mr. Yellow camera that had 12 exposures, that seemed all fine and dandy. The film was about halfway taken up into the roll, so I expect there to be some photos on this one. But Mr. Silver, that was telling us that there was 24 exposures taken, none of the film was in the reel, so I don't have good hopes for this one, but worst case, maybe we get like one frame that's just 25 multiple exposures stacked on top of each other and got some weird abstract art out of it. We'll know when we'll know. All right, ghouls. It's time for the reveal. First up should be the roll of film that was in the yellow camera, that if any of them have pictures, it's probably this one. Okay, here we go. Oh, 2 frames. 2 big frames of the exact same scene. And the rest is just various ceiling lights, like someone picked it up in the shop and just clicked it at the sky. Well, that's kind of a bummer. Let's see what the roll that I suspect has nothing on has. Nothing. Don't even bother drying it. Well, if that other camera has nothing on it like I suspect, the review part of this video is gonna be very short. So as I expected, the third camera did not have any usable photos in it, leaving us with just these 2 frames out of the one camera. And surprisingly enough, compared to most film that I rescue out of old point-and-shoot cameras, this one is not heavily fogged, which means that instead of dicking around with mounting this into the big boy Heidelberg to pound through all that fog that's on the film, I can relegate the task to the second best scanner ever created, the HP PhotoSmart S20. Here you go, boy. Have a snack. Eat up. Yeah, I know you're hungry. Come on. You can do it. Eat the negative. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Oh, Daddy's so proud of you. Are you happy? Yes, you are. Enjoy your meal. Hey, and here is the one photograph from these 3 cameras. Technically, I know there were 2, but it's the exact same scene. But maybe if I put them side by side and you stare at them hard enough, they'll start to overlap like a magic eye and appear in 3D. But the problem we have here is that the lens quality on these little point and shoots is kind of so shitty that even though it's a business, we can't read what the name of the business is to easily look up where it is on Google and solve the mystery of where this photo is located. Thus, we have ourselves an unsolved mystery! How are we going to solve this? My first idea was to just send the picture to someone who lives in Wausau and see if they recognize this scene from their day-to-day life. So that's what I did. I sent a text message to a colleague and just said like, hey, do you recognize this scene? But then after like 30 seconds of not even having the message read, I gave up and decided I'm gonna have to take this on myself. So what did I do? I went to Google Maps and I looked at the picture we have and noticed there's one clue that we can use is that in the corner, we can see a sign that says one way. So that helps limit the search a bit. So I found a one-way street in Wausau and took the little street view guy and dropped him on the road. And then drove down the road a few blocks and wouldn't you know it, I picked the correct road because right there it was. Floral magic in Wausau, Wisconsin, the subject of these mystery photographs. I'm kind of stunned that I found it this quick, but regardless, Unsolved Mystery is now solved. And that does it for this video. And if you want more content like this, but where I actually find a lot of pictures on the cameras, click either of the 2 videos presented on the screen now. The algorithm demands it.